What's going on, folks? My name is Spice. This is Spice Can't Fish. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a different video. So I've been thinking about filming this video for a little while. I just haven't really had a chance to, but right now I'm on spring break, so I don't really have all that much going on. I'm going out and doing some fishing for the past 5 or 6 days and haven't had any success so far. I don't know what the deal is. It's been super nice out, but the fish just don't seem to be cooperating for whatever reason. But yeah, I figured since I can't catch any fish for whatever reason, I might as well go out and buy some new fish and stuff. So I figured this would be a perfect opportunity to go film this video, like I said, that I've wanted to film for a little bit. But yeah, anyway, a little while ago, I was heading on down to Denver just to go visit my friend or go do some fishing or something. But I was going on down to Denver, had to stop to go get some gas. But right next to the gas station that I stopped at, there was actually like a little local tackle shop, and it looked pretty sweet. I didn't really have a ton of time to check around in there, but I did stick my head in there. And it seemed like a sweet little tackle shop. Like I said, I wanted to go back there, try and film a video at some point, but just haven't really had the time to. But yeah, like I said, fishing's been pretty tough recently. The ponds have only been unfrozen for like a couple of days at this point, so I really don't expect them to be biting all too much right now. But yeah, I figured it was just the perfect time to go do this little video and show you guys around this cool little tackle shop. So I'm not entirely sure if I'm allowed to film in there, so I'm not really sure how much I'm going to be able to film, but I'm going to try and at least show you guys the outside of the building, some of the stuff that they have in there. And then, as you could probably imagine, I'm probably going to pick up some stuff. So when we get back to my apartment, we'll end up doing an unboxing. But again, just figured it'd be kind of a cool little video for you guys to see. But before we do that, I actually want to announce the giveaway winner. If you guys saw my last video, I was actually running a giveaway. So in this video, I'm going to be announcing who won that. And yeah, even though I just got in my car, I'm actually going to meet you guys back up in my apartment, and I'll let you guys know who won that. Then I'll meet you guys down at the tackle shop, and I'll show you guys around. Alright folks, so I'm just finishing editing up the video right now, and I decided right now I'm just going to go ahead and pick the giveaway. I gave you guys like 5 or 6 days to get your entries in, but I got everybody who commented, so we got 9 different entries in here. So you guys can see I've got all the names right here on a list. And this is usually how I do the giveaways. I don't usually film this just because it's kind of boring, but this is how I usually do it. Is I'll find like a random name picker, type all the names in manually, and just go ahead and pick it. So we're going to go over here and click pick random name, and it's going to give us a name here to see who won. Looking like Nick A.O. Nickow, my man, Nick A.O., that guy. And if you didn't win this giveaway, don't worry, we've got some more giveaways coming in the future, but Nick A.O. or Nickow, if you could just send me an email to this email address right here with your full name and address, and I'll do my best to get that package out to you within the next couple of days or so. But yeah, thanks again on all the support on the videos recently. Again, if you guys didn't win this giveaway, we're gonna have a ton more giveaways coming up here in the future. I do them every few videos or so. And now that we're back into the fishing season, I'm gonna try and do them a little bit more frequently. So keep on the lookout for some more fishing content and some more giveaways in the future. And if you want to make sure you don't miss a giveaway, then hit that notification bell below so you're notified when I upload any new videos. That way, if I upload a new video with a giveaway in it, you don't miss your chance at entering. But yeah, we're gonna get right back into the video and get on over to the tackle shop. Alright, so I wasn't actually able to do a whole bunch of filming while I was in the store. I didn't do any sort of talking or anything. I just kind of walked in and started filming a few things just for like a quick little montage. But walking into the store, one of the first things you see along the right wall is a huge rack of soft plastics. They were actually storing them in mason jars, kind of like how I guess people used to store soft plastics. And the idea there was you could actually just take out however many soft plastics you wanted and just put them in a bag and write it down and pay for it at the register. They also had a ton of hand-tied little jig heads and stuff for either crappie or walleye or any sort of panfish species. And of course they had normal soft plastics in there too, normal packs of Yamamotos and Yums and Zooms and all that stuff. They had a decent selection of hard baits as well. There was a lot of older stuff, a lot of Rebel pop bars, but they also had a bunch of stuff from some newer companies. I saw some River to Sea stuff in there. I saw a bunch of Berkeley stuff, some Strike King stuff as well. They also had a little section in the back of the store where they had a bunch of rods. They had a bunch of St. Croix as well as just like some random like handmade rods or some one-off rods for catfishing and stuff. And they had an entire live bait room, which I didn't actually walk in but looked really cool. They even had a huge table with a bunch of bins and stuff in it, and they had like random miscellaneous worms and weights and just random baits and stuff in there. But I think my favorite part of the store had to be the 2 massive fish tanks at the very back of the store. They had one with a catfish and a largemouth in it, and then one with an absolutely massive bluegill. Oh, Jesus Christ. Well, I just spent so much money on stuff that I didn't need, but it's always good supporting small businesses, and well, we got a bunch of stuff for a ton of videos coming up. But yeah, I'm actually gonna go run right next door over to the gas station because I actually need to get some gas so I can get back home. But I'll meet you guys back in my apartment, and I'll show you guys what I picked up, because I don't know if you guys heard in there, but I spent so much money. But yeah, meet you guys back there, and we'll get into this big ol' unboxing. Alrighty folks, here's that big ol' hefty bag of stuff. You guys can't even see the whole thing, but it is absolutely chock full. I'm gonna try and do this without dumping it everywhere, but chock full of fishing stuff. Now, most of the stuff that's in this bag is probably going to be for a specific video, or a bunch of specific videos, I should say. A lot of the stuff that I picked up in there was stuff that I'd never seen before, stuff that I just thought looked really interesting, and stuff that I figured we could do a video on. As you guys can probably tell, I don't do a lot of challenge style videos on my channel. I think they're kind of stupid for the most part. If I'm going to do a challenge video, it's going to be something that I would want to watch personally, and most of those challenge videos are A, overdone, and B, not that interesting to begin with. I feel like everybody's done like a $25 Walmart challenge, or a Barbie rod fishing challenge, or like a 2-pound line fishing challenge, or something like that, and honestly, they weren't super interesting to watch the first time for me, so I wouldn't want to make them myself. And so yeah, like I said, I don't really do a lot of challenge style videos because I think most of them have been done already, and if I'm going to do a challenge video, it's going to be something that I think is really interesting. But luckily, over at that tackle shop, they had a ton of stuff for a bunch of challenge videos in the future, so I'm going to get this stuff kind of organized because, again, this is a huge bag of stuff. I'm going to go through the stuff that isn't really for challenge videos first, and then we're going to get into the really interesting stuff. So the first little thing that I picked up that I just picked up because I actually needed it was this little poppin' frog. I don't really have a ton of poppin' frogs right now, so I figured I'd just pick one up just because I really do want to be fishing a frog a little bit more this summer. And it's never bad to have an extra frog, so I picked up one of these little Kalins Poppin' K frogs. I've used one of the regular Kalins frogs, the non-popping versions of these, but I haven't used the poppin' version yet. They're not super expensive frogs, but I do like them for the price. Again, it's like $4.50, so you guys can see on there. I think you can find them for as little as like $3, but they were a little bit more expensive in there. But $5 for this frog is not too bad of a deal, honestly. It's a pretty solid frog. A lot of the frogs on the market these days are like $6 or $7, so I really like that little thing. It's just like this green pumpkin color. What do they call that? Splatter? Okay, I don't know where they got that name from, but they call that one Splatter. It's just kind of like a watermelon red almost, I guess. And yeah, just your standard little poppin' frog. These things are fairly soft. The hooks, for whatever reason, don't seem to be super centered on the body, so I'm gonna have to play around with that thing and make it sit right. But overall, solid little frogs. Again, I've used the non-popping version, so I feel like the popping version is gonna be just as good. Alrighty, I also decided to pick up a pack of these. These are just some Senkos. This is by a company called Konami Baits. I've never heard of them. I guess they're like a saltwater company originally, but they have this freshwater series that they made with Gary Yamamoto custom baits, so these are pretty much just a Senko. They call these their 5-inch Konami Flash. This color is green pumpkin, small purple flake, but it's just a green pumpkin, purple flake Senko, honestly. Again, I'll pull one of these out for you, but we all know what a Senko is. I assumed that these are going to be very similar to a normal Senko, and yep, that's a Senko for sure. Again, they are made in collaboration with Gary Yamamoto, so I'd have to imagine that that's pretty much what they are. But the Senkos in the store were like $7.50 and these were $5.50, so I figured I'd pick up a pack of these just because you can never have too many packs of Senkos, and I figured I'd try them out. I also needed some more little Ned Rig Heads, so I got some of these little finesse shrooms. They're the 1/10 ounce size, so a little bit small, but they'll definitely work for some smaller Ned Rigs and stuff. Recently, I've been throwing these lifted jigs. They're like the Ned EWG, so they're like a weedless Ned Rig, and those work pretty well, but they are a little bit big for a lot of the Ned Rigs that I like to throw. A lot of those like smaller 2 3/4 ones don't really fit on it all that much. All of the smaller 2 3/4 inch Ned Rigs don't really fit on it, so I figured I'd pick up a little bit smaller size Ned Rig head just to throw those smaller baits on. And yeah, got a pack of 5 of these. It's just the green pumpkin color. I don't really think the color of the head really matters all that much, but that's the only color they had, so that's what I picked up. And then for some reason they just had like a ton of like yum baits there for some pretty solid prices, so I picked up a whole bunch of yum baits. These I got all for like $4 a pack. I used to fish yum products a whole lot because they were inexpensive and they were always on sale at the Dick's Sporting Goods near my house back in New York, so I usually fished them a whole lot because I got them for really cheap. But yeah, they had these yum plastics on sale for a pretty solid price, so I figured I'd just pick up a few packs just because I don't really throw them all that much, but they're always good to have a few packs of inexpensive baits on hand. So I got 2 packs of these. These are the Yum Pulses. This is like my favorite swim bait of all time. I used to use these things all the time as like a chatterbait, swim jig trailer. I'd use them on just like a standard underspin. I used to fish them weightless all the time as well, catch fish on them like that as well, fishing at like a fluke or a Senko or something like that. Pretty solid little baits, durable baits as well. This is the 4.5-inch size. They come in an 8-pack, so got 2 different colors of this. This color they call IU. I think it kind of looks like a baby bass or just kind of like an average bait fish, but it's just kind of like that dark green back and like an off-white color on the belly. Really good looking color. I haven't thrown this color at all. I haven't thrown actually either of these colors, but this one looks really solid. I'm sure I'll get bit on this all times of the year. And yeah, like I said, whether I'm using it to imitate like a baby bass or like a bluegill or even like a shad or a crappie or something like that, this would do a perfect job imitating just about any sort of bait fish. Then I also got these guys. These are the gray flake shad color. I've never even seen this color before, but looks super cool, so I had to pick one up. I'm actually gonna pull this thing out of the package for you guys so you can see what it looks like. But yeah, there's that. That's again more of like a shad color, but really sweet looking. It's pretty transparent all the way through. It's just got like a light pearlescence to the belly. And the whole top of the bait also has like this greenish bluish pearlescence, which you can kind of see if I'm flicking it in the sun or in the light, I should say. Probably not showing up super well on camera. I'm sure it just looks like gray on the top and clear on the bottom, but that's a sweet looking little color. I'm excited to throw that thing around in the spring and see what happens. Alrighty, next up I picked up a pack of these. These are the Houdini shads. I've never seen this color before either. They call this Camo Pearl. I just picked this up because, again, I'm running a little bit low on some flukes. I think I only have like 4 or 5 packs of them, so picked up an extra pack of flukes just because, again, this is kind of a weird color I've never seen before and looked pretty good. The Houdini shads are pretty interesting. I'm not going to actually pull these out of the package because these young plastics are a little bit annoying. You have to like actually rip the whole package apart to actually get them open, so I'm not going to mess with that right now. But you can kind of see it in like the drawing down here as well as this tail right here, but it's got kind of like this Spade beaver style tail to the back of the fluke, which I really like. I think it gives it a little bit of extra movement, a little extra action in the water. But yeah, just a little bit of a different profile from an average fluke. I think it'll look really good. Again, I don't really see people throwing these all that much, so since it's something a little bit different, I figured I'd pick one up. Honestly, probably should have picked up a few more packs of these. Like I said, I am running a little bit low on flukes, but I also don't really throw a fluke all too much, so probably shouldn't be that big of a deal. But regardless, saw that color, thought it looked super cool, so figured I'd pick one up. Then we got a pack of these. These are the Thumpin' Dingers. This is like Yum's version of like a cut-tail worm or whatever you would consider that. I don't really know what you can... Swimming worm, I think is what they call that down in Florida. But anyway, this is their version of like the swimming worm. I believe this is the 6 or the 7-inch size. I don't know if they make a different size. Probably would have liked a little bit bigger size if I could find one, but this is the only size I had in the store, so I figured I'd pick one of these up and it would do perfectly fine. This is just the black color. I don't really throw a black worm all that much, but I figured it'd be kind of fun to throw this around maybe at night or in some really dirty water, see what we can get to bite it. I don't really throw a swimming style worm all too much, but I figured I'd pick up a pack of them just because I don't really throw them all that much, and it'd be nice to have something a little bit different to just throw around and play with. And then the last pack of baits that I got here is just the craw poppies. They had a ton of these. I was really hesitant. I was going to pick up like 8 packs of these because, again, I really like the craw poppies. They're great little jig trailers, great little Texas rig baits. But I just got one. This is the peanut butter and jelly color, which I really like. Everybody knows what peanut butter and jelly is, so again, I'm not going to take these out, but just kind of like a brown on top and then a dark purple on the bottom. Looks really good. Again, perfect little jig trailer or just like a Texas rig if you're using it for like lighter flipping or something like that. You could even probably use these for punching. I'm sure people use them for punching as well. But yeah, just a great little bait. Again, probably should have picked up a bunch of packs of these, but I just grabbed the one. I can always probably go back and spend even more money down at that shop, and I probably will at some point. But yeah, for right now, I figured I would just pick up the 1 pack so I didn't completely bankrupt myself today, even though I got really, really close. Oh, I almost forgot these. I guess I did pick up another pack of flukes. These are the Kalins 5-inch jerk minnow. This is the Arkansas shad color, so again, just kind of like a natural shad baitfish imitator. It's just got kind of like a light brown back and then just like a white belly, so really good, natural, again, shad imitator. You could use this for imitating like a little baby bass or something as well, but again, just like a super natural baitfish imitator. Again, I don't really have a ton of flukes right now, so I guess it's a good thing that I picked up a couple of packs because I don't have a bunch, like I keep saying. But yeah, haven't tried these little Kalins jerk minnows, but they look pretty good. I felt them in the package and felt them in the store as well. I feel like they're pretty durable, so we should be able to get a good few fish out of each of these. And yeah, we'll just have to see what these do in the spring. Again, never really tried these, but we're gonna have to give them a shot. But anyway, getting into the stuff for challenge videos, we're going to stick with actually that same brand, Kalins. I picked up a couple of really interesting things from them. This is called their Mop Top. I don't know what this is supposed to be. I think it's like a curly tail mixed with a jig. I'm going to pull probably all these baits out, so we're going to start with this guy. This is weird. So this is probably going to be one of those baits for a challenge video. This is the blue shad color. I don't know how you're supposed to fish this thing. I think maybe you're supposed to thread a tube jig in here somehow, or maybe just thread it like a Texas rig and the weight goes up in here somewhere. I don't know. We're going to have to play around this thing, maybe fish it for a couple of days and see what we can do with it. But yeah, kind of like a grub baitfish craw imitator. I don't know. It just kind of imitates everything. I didn't really take a look at the color all that much. I saw it and it kind of looked like a natural like green pumpkin with a blue swirl or something like that. So I figured I'd pick it up. Again, more in hand, it looks more of like a shad baitfish color. So really weird. I don't know what we're going to do with that. Maybe drop shot it or throw it on like a little swim bait head. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. But yeah, the little Kalins Mop Top. We're definitely going to have to do a challenge video with these at some point. Alrighty, also from Kalins, not really a weird bait, just a super strange color. This is their seismic shad, which again is their like Kitech style swim bait, as you can see. It's a 4.8-inch size. The color though is what they call rainbow trout. I don't know if the people over at Kalins have ever seen a rainbow trout, but I don't think that that's what they look like. This is what they look like out of the package. They're all kind of inconsistently poured, so they all look a little bit different, but they've got kind of like this greenish smoke grayish top, and then the bottom is all this super bright pink color. So again, I don't know if the people over at Kalins have ever seen a rainbow trout. Maybe they asked their 3-year-old to color what they thought a rainbow trout would look like, and then they just slapped that on a bait. But yeah, that is a really off-the-wall color. Other than the absolute crazy color, though, they look like really solid baits. I probably should have picked one up in more of like a natural color, because I bet I could actually catch some good fish on this bait. Other than, again, that color, it's a good-looking little swim bait. I would definitely toss that around and probably would catch some fish on it. Just, I don't know about that radioactive rainbow trout color. That's a little weird for me. Alrighty, something a little bit more normal, but still kind of out there. We got ourselves a little fluke. Like I said, I am running a little bit low on flukes. I don't know why I called this a little fluke, though. This is one of the biggest flukes I've ever seen in my life. This is a big bite baits fluke. I don't know what they call this. I think this is like a jerk shad or a jerk minnow or something like that, but I think this is the 7-inch size or the 7.5-inch size. The package that they came in has absolutely no information on it, which is pretty consistent with how Big Bite Baits markets a lot of their plastics. They just put them all in the same bag and don't bother putting a sticker on it for some reason. So I've got no information on this thing. I'm going to say it's probably like an Arkansas Shiner color, or like a shad baitfish kind of imitator. Looks really good though. Again, the only thing is they are freaking massive. So I figured I'd pick these up just to see, again, what would happen if we throw an oversized jerk bait. Maybe one day we get on a good fluke bite and I tie these things on and see if we can upsize our bite a little bit. Alrighty, next up, I just saw these and I had to pick these up because I'd never heard of them before, but we all know Skeet Reese, or most people know Skeet Reese. Skeet Reese is the friggin' man. He's been throwing baits for longer than I've probably been alive. This is a Terminator bait. They call this the Snapback Super Plastics. It's supposed to be tear resistant. I guess these are kind of similar to like that Z-Man stuff. But yeah, this is the Skeet's Creature Bait in the black blue fleck color. I didn't even bother taking these out of the package when I was in the store. Yeah, so that's just your normal average creature bait. They look pretty good actually. Again, never seen these. Packaging looks super, super old, but yeah, as you guys can see, these things are super, super stretchy. Very similar to, again, that Z-Man stuff. I don't know how well they're going to hold up over time. They say that these are nearly indestructible with greater action and powerful scent. Ugh, God, they kind of smell like that power bait stuff. Not quite the exact same, but definitely got some good scent to them. And it seems like they actually have this little pocket in here that you can almost put more scent in, or maybe a rattle or something. I don't know. We'll have to mess around with these a little bit and see what we can do with them. But yeah, little Skeet Reese's Creature Bait by Terminator Baits. Definitely gonna have to try these things out for sure. Again, I don't really throw a creature bait all too much, but it's one of those things that I want to work on. And again, I don't really have a whole ton of black and blue baits. If you guys saw my tackle tour video, I'm running a little bit low on black and blue baits and like dirty water baits in general, so always good to have an extra pack of creature baits in the box. These are, again, like I said, for a challenge video first and foremost, but I have a feeling they'll probably find their way into my overall everyday tackle bag, just because that's really friggin' cool. And I mean, if Skeet Reese likes them, I'm sure I'll like them too. Alrighty, next up I got these little things. These are the 5-inch Feathertail grubs from Jerry's Tournament Tackle. I have no idea where these are from. I don't know if Jerry's is a real bait company. I've never heard of them before. They came in like a Ziploc bag, as you guys can see. So again, don't know how official these are. They got like a little Texas rig, Carolina rig guide in there. So if you guys have never thrown a Texas rig or Carolina rig before, there you go. But yeah, welcome to the wonderful world of Jerry's Tournament Tackle. Oh man, that's so funny. They're from Spokane, Washington. All right, fair enough. I don't even know if these guys are around anymore, but again, saw these, thought they were super interesting. I honestly have no idea what these look like, because again, they were kind of all jumbled up in the bag, so we're gonna have to pull these things out. Oh my God, what is this? What the hell is this? This is not what I was expecting this was gonna be. This looks like a sperm. I got a sperm bait. Yeah, no, we got a bag full of sperms. How many of these do we have? Like 2, 4, 6, 10? 10 or so? 12? Maybe 12 sperms in a bag? Sweet, yeah, I don't know what this thing is. I've never seen this thing before. Again, Feathertail grub. That's, yeah, okay. Feathertail grub, I guess. I'm just gonna call it the sperm. That's gonna be a really interesting video to film. I don't know what we're gonna do with this thing, if we're gonna put it on like a little swim bait head or a drop shot, or I don't even know how you would fish this. I am so lost right now, but yeah. Cool, Feathertail grubs. This is the watermelon pepper copper color, by the way. I don't think the color matters on this thing because it looks like an alien from another planet, so if a bass eats this thing, I don't think it's going to be looking for the color. Now I gotta clean my sperms up off the table and put them in a bag for safekeeping. God, that is so gross sounding. Alrighty, we're gonna take a quick break from the soft plastics just to talk about the only 2 hard baits that I actually picked up for some challenge videos. And wow, yeah, what a challenge video these are gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna be in one challenge video or 2 separate ones, but these are the Weber spinning frogs and spinning mouse. I don't know what this is supposed to do. I don't know how you're supposed to fish it. It says on the bottom, if Weber makes it, a fish takes it. So hopefully they're pretty good. They've been making tackle since 1896. So yeah, these are going to be interesting. I assume they're topwater baits. They look like topwater baits to me. I don't know how, again, you fish them. The little mouse seems like it's furry, which is interesting. The little frog just definitely seems like a little hard. Probably wood, little bait, I think. Yeah, it looks like it's wood in there. It's got like a, I don't even know, maybe like a horse hair or a person hair tail on it. It looks like a person's hair, honestly. But yeah, sweet little baits. I've never heard of Weber. I've never seen these baits before. They've definitely been in this packaging for quite a while. So yeah, we're gonna have to take these out and see if we can catch a fish on them. I literally have no idea what to say about these things, but yeah, that'll be an interesting video or 2, I guess. Alrighty, these are gonna be another bait company that I've never heard of, but this is called Authentics Series Plastics. I think it's B Fish and Tackle is what they call the company, but yeah, I don't know what these things are. They call them the ringworms, and they had a bunch of really weird colors in there, so obviously I picked the weirdest ones to go throw. But yeah, these are insane. I've never seen worms like these. They're a little 4-inch ringworm is what they call them. I'll pop one of these out. Maybe I won't. Hang on. But yeah, these are the little ringworms. They're really interesting little baits. Again, they're 4-inch, so little tiny things, but they got kind of like this little curl tail on them, and then they're ribbed all the way down for her pleasure. Again, never heard of B Fish and Tackle before. They don't seem like terrible feeling plastics. These seem somewhat durable, seem like they should have some good action, but again, that is the, what do they call that color? Pearl chartreuse, so kind of like a, I don't know, a good mix in between like a white and a chartreuse. It's, yeah, just a pearl chartreuse. Again, probably isn't showing up really well on camera. It just looks yellow to you guys, I'm sure, but it's, I don't know how to describe it. It is literally just what it sounds like, but it's impossible to describe unless you see it in person. Like if you've ever taken like a chartreuse crankbait or like a chartreuse spinnerbait or something and left it on the dash of your truck or like left it out in the sun for like a good long time, you'll notice it'll start to fade and start to get like this chartreuse off-white kind of color to them. That's kind of what I would consider this color, is kind of like that faded chartreuse. Again, chartreuse pearl or pearl chartreuse. Should be a pretty good looking little color. Again, don't really throw chartreuse worms all that much, but that should be pretty cool. Then I had to get these. These are the Firecracker with chartreuse tail. Just a ridiculous looking color. As you can imagine, it is red, white, and blue, and it is bright. And then of course, it's got that little chartreuse tail because the red, white, and blue worm wasn't crazy enough. I don't know if I'm gonna save these for like a 4th of July challenge video, or maybe I'll just fish all these little ringworms in the same video and maybe recycle worms. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out, but these are really interesting looking worms. I've never really seen a Firecracker worm before, so that's a new color for me. And yeah, definitely not natural, but hopefully we got some patriotic bass out there. And then this last color was actually the color that caught my eye originally when I was walking by these baits. I saw this and I was like, yep, gotta grab one of those. This is the chartreuse green core color. So it's like those core shot colors, if you guys have ever seen those, but just like a really, really transparent chartreuse with a bright green core. Really interesting color. I've seen worms in this color, but it's been like a really long time. Like I feel like I used to get worms like this or little grubs like this and like those little tackle box tray kit things that my uncle would buy for me for Christmas or my birthday as a kid. But yeah, that is a really interesting looking color. I had to pick up one of these, and then I saw those other colors and I was like, yeah, we may as well pick up a few of them. So yeah, those are the ringworms by B Fish and Tackle. Alrighty, as you guys saw in like that little montage thing, they actually had like a big table with a bunch of like clearance stuff on them. And on that table, they actually had a few little interesting baits. So I figured I'd pick up a pack of each of these. These are the 7-inch, which is these guys, and then the 8-inch worms. I don't know what these are considered. Spade tail worms. I'm gonna have to pop these out. They look really strange. I never actually looked at them when I was in the store, so I don't know how they're shaped, I guess, but they look kind of cool, so I figured I'd pick them up. Yeah, that's an interesting looking worm. It's got like these little 4 segments at the top. that kind of look like a butt plug, and then they got the rest of this little body with some smaller segments on it. Got kind of like this Spade beaver style tail on it. So really interesting bait. I think these and then the other ones are about the same. I don't know how many came in each of these little bags. I think these are like hand poured by someone who works at the shop or something. But sweet looking little baits. They're just 2 little packs of black worms. I picked up black in each of them. I think that was the only color they had, but they look pretty sweet. So got the little 7-inch and then the 8-inch in here, which are a bit bigger and I think are about the same. I don't know if these are going to end up being a challenge video or if they're just going to end up being in my tackle box and I'm just going to use them at some point or another, but pretty interesting little worms nonetheless. I figured I'd just pick them up because I think they were like 20 cents a worm or something like that, so I figured I'd just pick up a bag of each and yeah, see if we can get some fish on them. They seem like pretty durable worms. They seem like they'll have some reasonable action to them, so we'll probably have to throw them around at some point in the summer when it gets super hot and they're starting to bite up on these big worms and see what we can't do with them. And then they also had these things, which I think these are supposed to imitate a tadpole. I don't know though, they're really strange. I think they call these the Reaper. They're 7 inches long. I'm gonna try and pull one of these things out just because I want to see what this little tail flange area feels like. There we go, fantastic. So there's that. I don't, again, know what they're trying to imitate with that. An eel, a really, really big tadpole, a leech maybe, I don't know, maybe a lamprey. We don't have any lampreys around here, so probably won't be catching any fish that are looking to eat on some lampreys. And yeah, that is definitely going to be a challenge video at some point. I don't know what I'm going to use these for. Maybe on like a Magnum shaky head, or I don't know, maybe we'll do some flipping with them, or maybe even punch with them. I got no idea, but we'll have to throw these things around and see what they're made of. They definitely should have some decent action. That whole tail area is pretty flappy, as you guys can see. I don't know what color they call that. It's just like a bright orange with some orange and brown or different colored orange flake. It's just orange and orange with some more orange on it, but looks really cool. And yeah, we're definitely gonna have to throw that thing around at some point. Again, picked up 5 of them because I'm gonna probably throw these in a challenge video and I don't know how long they're gonna last me, so figured I'd just have enough to, you know, film a video with, and maybe I'll even give one away to you guys at some point. Alrighty, getting back into the at least semi-real bait companies, we're going to talk about these. I got 2 packs of each of these. This is a company called Lucky Baits. They're tournament grade baits apparently, even though I've never in my life seen these baits before. I have a little hashtag feeling lucky on the side, which I thought was pretty sweet. But I picked up 2 packs of these. These are their Boss Hogs. We got the watermelon seed color, which again is just like a watermelon. It's got kind of like a chartreusey swirl to it, which I kind of like. It's a little bit lighter than your normal watermelon, but figured I'd pick some of those up because it's just a little bit of a different color as opposed to what a lot of people throw. Again, don't really throw a creature bait all that much, but it's one of those things that I want to work on, so figured I'd pick some of those up. That's a sweet looking little bait right there. And then I got this color, which they call Emerald Isle. It's like seafoam green with like a bunch of rainbow flake in it. I don't know why I got it. I saw it and I thought it looked so cool. It kind of reminds me of like kitty toothpaste almost for whatever reason, but yeah, really interesting looking color. I don't know what we're gonna have to do with this. This is definitely gonna be a challenge video at some point. I'm gonna do a video just on these. This is just a ridiculous color, but I feel like it's just crazy enough that it might work. But yeah, you guys will definitely be seeing a challenge video on these things. I'm actually gonna pop one of these out just so you can get a little bit of a closer look at them because they are a little bit different looking creature bait. Again, very standard creature bait profile, I guess you would call it, but they have like these little ribbings in here where you put the hook or where the hook will end up, so that'll give you a little bit more bulk and a little bit more plastic to wear through, hopefully last you a couple more fish on each of these baits. Again, they look like really good baits. They have a bunch of juice or scent on them or something, so definitely are gonna get bit. I don't know about this color. It's just a little crazy, so we're definitely gonna have to film a video with this thing at some point. And then I also got these things. These are their flipping hogs. This probably won't end up being a challenge video at some point either. I just kind of saw these and thought they were cool, so I picked up a couple of packs of them. But yeah, as you can imagine, these are just kind of like a little flipping bait. They're 4 1/4 inches, so got that normal little flipping bait body and then just like a super big beaver style paddle tail on there. This color they call pumpkin seed, which again is just kind of like a brown pumpkin color, so really like that. Not really a green pumpkin, just like a straight brown. Should be perfect for imitating a little bluegill. And then this other color over here I thought looked really sweet. I've never seen a color like this before. They call this 419 Special. I don't know where the 419 is. I'll have to look that up at some point. I'd have to imagine it's probably like Florida or Texas or somewhere like that. But yeah, this color is sweet. It's almost like a a snake color. I don't even know what you would describe this as, but it's got like these super big black splot. Oh, maybe those are like just really big black flakes. Yeah, that's what that looks like, is just a bunch of really big black flakes in that. That's super interesting. Got a little bit of copper flake in there as well. And then just like a green pumpkin standard base color. Really, really interesting bait. Like I said, I've never seen flake that big in a bait. Honestly, it looks like someone took a Sharpie and kind of like drew on the bait here and there, but looks really sweet. Definitely gonna have to throw the thing around. Should be a good little bluegill panfish baitfish imitator, just something a little bit different. And then this last little bait company here is called Zipper Baits. And I got a ton of these because they had a bunch of different types of baits here. I don't know what they call any of these. They don't really have any stickers on any of them, but I think I found 3 different baits from them. We got 2 packs of their craws, which we'll get into last. We got a pack of these, which are kind of like a ribbon tail, like a little 4-inch, almost very similar to those like ringworms that we saw before. And then we got these ones. So I'm gonna start by popping these guys open. These are kind of like a drop shot bait is what it looks like. Just kind of like a standard green pumpkin drop shot bait. I just figured I would get all these together just because I probably would do a video on all these zipper baits because I've never heard of them before. Whoa, this is weird, hang on. What is this? Okay, so this is, like I said, probably a drop shot style bait, but really interesting drop shot style bait. All these baits have like these weird ribs all the way down them. I guess that's probably where they get the name from, is because it looks kind of like the teeth of a zipper down all their baits. Oh yeah, actually now that I'm looking at the package right here, that's exactly probably what they get their name from, because they got a little zipper right there on the package. That's cool. Anyway, back to the bait. So these are like a little drop shot bait, just like a green pumpkin color. But yeah, really interesting shape to them. It's got like these 2 little appendages, these little flanges on the back of it right here. Yeah, looks really cool. I've never seen a bait like this before, so figured I'd pick some up just because, again, they look really interesting, and I wanted to do a challenge video on all these baits. But yeah, that's that little worm. It's got, again, kind of like that ring tail. It's very similar to that little ringworm, actually. It's just more of a flat profile as opposed to the rings going all the way down the bait. But this is, again, one of like those little core shot baits almost. You can't really see it as well in that because they're 2 very similar colors. But the middle of that bait, if you guys can see it in there, is cinnamon. So it's like that little bit darker color in there. And then the oxblood, I believe, is what's on the outside. It's more of that like reddish with that orange flake in it. So really good looking bait. Again, really interesting. These all feel very strange. They're very textile or tactile, I think is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, should be really interesting baits to throw around for sure. Definitely gonna be doing a challenge video on these zipper baits at some point. And the last 2 baits that we got here are the 4.5-inch zipper craw. These are actually labeled, which is nice. So we got natural here, and then we also have June bug with a chartreuse tail. So the natural, I don't know where this is natural, but it's pretty bright actually. Let me actually see if there's a little bit of a different looking one here. Yeah, that one's a little bit more natural, I guess, but still pretty bright though. It's got like a green pumpkin back and then a bright orange belly. But yeah, just like a ribbed craw. Again, very interesting looking body. It's a little bit long for my liking. It's 4.5 inches, so this might end up being like a flipping bait or a punching bait or something like that for me, but that's a really interesting looking craw regardless. It doesn't look like it's gonna have a ton of action. It doesn't have any like flanges or anything to really kick any water, but we'll have to see when we get it in the water. These little claws might stand up or something, so we'll definitely have to play around with these at some point again, like when we're filming that video. But yeah, that is their natural color, like I said, and then we also had this one over here, which is their June bug chartreuse tail, which I guess is probably June bug chartreuse claws. Yeah, there we go. June bug body, as you could probably imagine, dark purple with that blue flake, and then little chartreuse claws on there. So really, really weird looking colors from these baits, but really excited to get these things in the water and see what we can catch on them. But yeah, this is the entire assortment. I definitely went a little bit overboard, as you guys could probably imagine. I think I spent right at 125 bucks, so definitely shouldn't have spent that much on all this stuff. But again, I really like supporting small businesses, and they just had so much cool stuff. I had to pick up a bunch of it. And these aren't all the challenge videos that I plan on doing this year. I actually have another box of baits that I want to do a whole bunch of challenge videos on. I'm not sure if we're going to get to all of them this year, but you guys are probably going to see some videos on at least some of this stuff at some point in the future. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for today's video, folks. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that like button if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see some more content from me. If you guys want to see any of these challenge videos like sooner rather than later, let me know down in the comment section. If any of these baits like stuck out to you guys, or you want to see me do like a challenge video on any of them specifically, let me know down in the comments below, like I said, and I'll try and get to them as soon as possible. Like I said, I have a ton of challenge videos that I want to film. I'm sure I won't get to all of them at any point soon, so let me know which ones you guys really want to see, and I'll try and make sure that I make those ones as soon as possible. But yeah, I think it's going to do it for me. I'll check and wreck them, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.